Hello, motherfuckers.
How are you?
Howdy doody, bitches. How y'all doing? I got the hat on, so I gotta talk with an accent.
Yeah, talk weird as fuck.
Actually, that's kind of fucking dumb, because it's actually a Jimi Hendrix hat, so it doesn't even make sense why I'm talking with the country accent or whatever the fuck I'm going for. I'm just a fucking idiot.
We all are.
Yeah. Fun. So yeah, I guess we're back. Numero 7. See?
Is it 7? Yeah.
See?
7.
Not bad.
Next week?
Decent.
Right now. Yeah, next week.
Next
7.
week, yeah.
Yeah, next week it'll be 7 on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep, 6 just came out. Not for you guys, but for us in this time space.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fucking sweet. Also, in this time space, rest in peace to DMX. That just happened today. I believe it was today, right?
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, and usually, I follow like Metal Injection and stuff like that on Facebook, and they posted about it. And usually, you post about a rapper that died in a metal Facebook page, you got a whole bunch of assholes like, oh, why are you posting rap in a metal page? Who cares? And shit like that. But a lot of people were sad about it.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, he had a big influence in the metal community just by his, like, hard-hitting beats, his aggression as a rapper. Yeah.
The fucking woof.
The woof.
Woof, 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 whatever the fuck he did, you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely, as we keep joking, it's such a stupid joke, but fucking X gave it to us, guys.
Yeah, X gave it to us.
He fucking gave it to us.
He gave it to us for... When did he start rapping?
Actually, I don't know.
Mid-20s, I think? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, fucking great career. It's a disappointment, but everybody's got to move on at some point, you know? Oh, speaking of which, you mentioned it. I did see it, but I didn't think much of it. Prince Philip also died.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy as well.
I don't know if he died yesterday or if he died today, if they both died on the same day.
Yeah, I didn't see what day it was either, but for those who don't know, Prince Philip is actually the Queen's husband. I don't know why they call him Prince. I think he was a prince in his country. He's from Greece, I think, if I remember correctly. I watched The Crown, so I know what I'm talking about. No, it is a pretty good show, though, actually, for people that want to watch it. But... yeah, that's kind of crazy. I hate to say it, but the Queen's obviously going to die soon. She's old as fuck, and I think she's one of the longest reigning queens of all time.
Yeah, one of the longest ruling monarchs in history.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a fact, but, she's always been a princess, like, before she was a queen.
Yeah, before, okay.
So she was always in royalty, obviously, that's how royal families work. But, it's weird that in history... they've been the ruling family for so long because, you look back in history and, it's just family overthrowing family for thousands of years, but now all of a sudden they've been they've been Europe?
England, UK.
They've been their ruling monarchs for decades, or centuries.
Centuries,
centuries.
Years and years, and I mean, the UK for one, but the Commonwealth in itself, Great Britain actually has... at least I'm pretty sure in modern times, still the largest amount of land between the Commonwealth. I mean, even Canada, which neighbors us, is part of the Commonwealth, which is technically, I guess you'd say, owned by Britain in a sense. I don't know how else you would say it. They reign over them, essentially.
A little bit.
Yeah. But
I'm not sure, like, how in-depth that is. Like, do they control, like, what taxes they charge from across the ocean?
I assume that's what it is. I personally don't know exactly how it works. I know that they are in charge.
I mean, I know they were, like, British colonies, but I'm not sure if they're still under the rule of Britain.
Yeah, it may just be a fucking, what's the word I'm looking for, like a formality in a sense, but I realistically don't know. I'd have to research it. I'm not that interested in Britain's affairs, but it is interesting just because of the fact of how big they were. And they're not as big as they once were, you know what I mean?
Not nearly.
Because America, and we're the badasses.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Britain.
Yeah, that's what we are.
But it is interesting history, though. I just had to say that because I actually just found out, because you told me, that we actually have foreign listeners.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me. I don't know, was that on Spotify or where was that?
Yeah, I think it's basically anywhere Anchor uploads. And if you guys try to find us on there, I apologize. I'm trying to get the audio recorded for the last, 6 episodes. But the app I'm using, I won't say it because they're technically a sponsor of our audio version. But yeah, their app keeps closing, so I can't edit as easily as I'd like to. But we're trying to figure it out. I'm sifting through different audio apps to try to work it out.
Mm-hmm. So they only cover our audio and not the video itself?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that for Spotify.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that's a possibility yet, if we have to have like so many listeners, shit like that. So
either way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I'm just happy that we technically have a sponsor.
Yeah, technically.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Whopping 10 cents from it.
Yes, absolutely. That makes me so excited. I know and you can laugh at it. It's 10 cents, but that's money, man. That's money. Exactly.
Nickel and dime.
Yeah, everybody laughed at me when I made 10 cents off of stocks, and then it built up to, I don't want to say how much, but a lot more than I ever expected it to be. I made quite a lot more money than I ever predicted, and 10 cents is 10 cents, man.
I haven't invested in a minute, but I want to get back into it with part of my taxes. I want to get at least $300 back into my portfolio.
Definitely smart. Yeah.
Laugh, that's like such a small amount for an investing portfolio, but it's a start.
Gotta start somewhere.
Right. But,
$300 is more than most people's portfolios.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I mean?
I think mine's just barely over 300 total.
That's awesome. Mine started with $25.
Yeah.
Ford, and some people might start with less. You can start with about 50 cents.
I remember buying my first big stock. It was the Microsoft stock. It was like $130, I think.
Okay.
Or it might have even been 160.
Oh damn, nice.
That off too. But yeah, I really want to get back into investing. It's just, I just haven't had the extra income for it yet.
Which is absolutely understandable, and that's the same thing with me too. I'm kind of tied financially. I don't necessarily want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like I said, I always want to be as truthful as possible, but it's just nothing that's necessarily relevant right now. I don't want to put anything out there. You know how I am. If there's anything in the works, I never want to say it. I don't know why. I've always been that. It's because I'm so used to shit just not working out and everything going the worst possible direction. So I don't never want to put any of my plans out there.
I get that. It seems like whenever you get excited about something, it's just like the moment you start talking about it to people, it's like it's holding on to the edge of a cliff by a sliver. And then it's just downhill from there.
It is, yeah. Great way.
Like when I was telling so many people at work, I'm going to leave by probably the end of this month, go get a job somewhere else, and I'm still there.
Damn,
so
understandable.
That's why I don't talk about it anymore. Like if I won't say anything about getting a new job until it's like a week before. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. But either way, just going back to stocks, like I sold off all my stocks, and for right now at this point in time, just because I may be doing something else with them, which is exciting to me. But
new venture.
Yeah, new ventures, but in a different way of investment. But I'm hoping that we can at least spark people's interest to at least do some research into investments and possibly do some yourself.
Save your money wherever you can, even if you have to download, not a sponsor, Acorns, because it's a great app, man. Like you just passively, like say you get a pop at the gas station, it's like $1.27 or something like that. It'll round it up to the nearest dollar, and then that'll automatically invest it for you.
That is awesome. Yeah.
So, and like after a few months of doing that, you have like $200-300 in your fucking account.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You talked me into Acorn, but I haven't actually used it yet.
You should hook it up. You don't even have to do anything. You can even get an Acorns card to use, kind of like the Robinhood card.
Nice. I don't have that either. I just try not to have as many cards as possible because
I try to in emergencies because Robinhood, Acorns, they take like 5 to 6 business days to transfer into your account, but it'd be nice just to have the money right there when you need it.
Exactly. Which is
I don't touch them unless it's an emergency. So
exactly. Yeah. Which my thing is, I just have too many cards. I have a debit card from my bank. I got an Amazon credit card, which I use just for purchasing stuff off Amazon, like all my bullshit orders.
So you don't even need to put that in your wallet then.
Yeah, I have it in there, but I never use it. I literally just use it for Amazon, just so I can get the rewards points.
You should just get a lockbox and keep all your shit in there.
Definitely.
For like $30 at Walmart.
Exactly. I have one even over here. I just put actually I got collectible coins and bullshit papers and stuff in there, but.
And I can't remember if I've talked about this money saving tip on the podcast yet. I'm pretty sure I have, but to go over it quickly, it's like, say you're wanting to go pick up fast food, and you tell whoever's living with you, if anyone, hey, hey, if you pay for your fast food, I'll go pick it up. And they're like, okay, so you go get their food and you spend your money to get you and their food.
Mm.
But when you get back, they'll pay you for their order. But what you want to do is act like that money's already gone and spent, take the money they paid you for their order and go put it away.
Which is a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you're strapped and you're just doing it because, they said they'd pay you back, but you still need the money, of course, then use it. But if you're in a position to act like that money's just gone, put it away.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely a good idea.
I haven't done that as much, but I think I want to start doing it again.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of weird little tips and things that I do for myself. Nothing necessarily important enough to tell. I've told a little bit from over the videos that we've already talked about, but I've got all kinds of different little nifty things that I do for myself. Like even the fact I have 3 different bank accounts. I got my checking account, I got my savings account, and then I got my intermediate account, which is kind of like a savings account, but I also put like my bills in there, like I'll save rent up in that one. So that way, if I need to take something out of my, well, I would call it like my first round of savings, then I can just pull it out of there and I don't have to actually pull it out of my real savings, you know what I mean? It's like a, how do I say it, a security savings in a sense. That way you don't have to break into your savings, which is really convenient. And of course I still do because, I'm not good with my money. I'm not as good with my money as I should be, I should say.
I get that. I'm so bad with my money. Like, I buy so much shit because I work at a fucking store. So it's like, on lunch, I buy something. On break, I buy something.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's a bitch.
See, I hate working at grocery because you have access to food there that's unhealthy. And then you work there, like, 5 days a week. So you're buying, like, food at the store every day and you're just gaining weight. That's why I've been trying to work out as much as I can too. And
actually, that's a good kind of thing to segue into is fucking meal preps, man.
Oh man, I haven't done it since that week.
Dude,
I gave up.
They're a bitch, and I agree. The way that I am with everything is I'll get little pockets of motivation, and I'll be like into it for a week or two, and then I'll fall out. And maybe it's because I'm bipolar, but I hope not. But meal preps is one thing. I kind of fall out of it a little bit, but I try to at least do like, sometimes I'll cook up like some beef with some peppers, maybe some mushrooms or something, throw some beans in there, some rice, or I'll do like chicken and rice and like broccoli or something.
See, I can do that, it's just I don't know how to portion. Like, I don't know like how much I need of what and what portion those things need to be in.
Understandable.
Especially if I'm like trying to build muscle instead of lose weight. I know I'm doing both while building muscle. Muscle eats fat. But I don't know what the right food for that is. I've been thinking about going vegan and just trying to get like protein supplements and shit like that. I'm not against eating meat. Like I love meat. But I'm wondering if it's just not good for my body type, you know what I mean?
Understandable, yeah. And see, that's one place where I'm ignorant is I don't necessarily know like exactly what portions I should be eating, but personally I just kind of free flow it. And it's not like I'm saying this in any way of how to even put it, I don't know, arrogance, I guess. Some people take so much pride in their body, and I never have taken pride in my body. And I don't see how people judge other people's on their body either. That's never really made sense to me.
So I don't have pride on my body, but I just want to be healthier.
Exactly, which is amazing. Yeah. I mean, everybody should.
At least I want to try, but like I'm staying at the same weight. I don't know if that's because muscle's actually replacing a lot of fat, and it's kind of building more, or if I'm just like eating wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's the latter. Like I eat for shit.
Understandable. So. Yeah, and my thing's always been like, I'm relatively skinny, and I know people have problems like on both ends of the spectrum of being too skinny or being too big, you know what I mean? People always have these like, how would I put it, like body dysmorphias in a sense, everybody's kind of like afraid of their body in a sense, and I've never necessarily had that with my body, I guess my Junos, but but my thing's always been I'm just a weird person, so it's always just, social interaction is my thing, that's where I lack in a sense, but like portion-wise, I feel I don't necessarily have to think about it too much. I just kind of throw in what I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it like that too. Like you can kind of guess portions. You know what I mean? Like they have these ready-to-eat 1-minute rice things from Uncle Ben's. So you can get like the vegetable fried rice, You tear the top, it goes in for a minute and a half, and you got a portion of rice.
Mm.
And that, you can take it to work if your work has a microwave or, shit like that.
Which is smart also.
So, like, that way I had my portion of rice, and then I cut up and cooked chicken breast. But I didn't put, like, hardly any different seasonings on, so it was all the same for, like, a few days.
Yeah, understandable.
It was rough living.
Yeah, I get it. I season mine a bit, but like with me, I it's probably part of my ignorance that I don't, research a little bit more into my portion size and everything. But the way that I think about it is like, as I was getting into, like, I have a high metabolism as it is, and then with like the type of work that I do, I'm constantly running, and just the way that I think of it and the way that I see it is like, I'll go. I don't do a whole shit ton, but I'll go to like Dairy Queen because Dairy Queen's the closest fast food to where I work at. So, the way I think of it is like, okay, if I'm going to Dairy Queen and getting a portion of that, if I'm at least getting a sizable portion of something that I know is more healthier, even if it's a little bit bigger, it's still going to be better for me. You know what I mean? And that's at least the way that I think about it. Because I especially, not necessarily where I work at now, but at other jobs, definitely hit the fast food like really hard. That's always been a big problem with me working anywhere because fast food's so convenient. When you're fucking in a rush, it's like, fuck it, let's just go right now.
And I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but do you know how hard it is working in a building that has a fucking Subway in it? Like,
I love Subway too.
Or a pretzel shop.
Yeah, the pretzels are amazing also. Yeah, I definitely agree. But you mentioned veganism and everything, and I'm the same way. I'm not the same way. I'm obviously not against meat because I'm a huge meat lover, but I'm not against veganism in any way. I'm not against any of it. You eat however the hell you want to eat. I don't
whatever's good for your body, I think you should try to do more of. I know I say that with a fucking vape in my hand, drinking a 20-ounce can of Red Bull. My second one of the day, aside from my like 2 Starbucks coffees. I'm always wired.
People have devices.
Yeah, but you can. I don't recommend doing what I do. I mean, I know for some people that's minor, but for some people this would probably give them a fucking heart attack. 2 20-ounce Red Bulls a day and the Starbucks along with nicotine and THC. So, that'll send people into fucking anxiety hell.
Yeah, for sure.
And, but in what you eat can just change how your body works so much, obviously. Like, I know a lot of the shit we're gonna say is basically just reinstating shit everyone already knows.
And then mostly it's all opinionated too.
Yeah, a lot of it's opinionated. You don't have to agree with us. We don't want you to agree with us all the time.
Everybody's got their opinions, which is amazing.
Don't follow us for a lot of advice, but you can follow us for our opinions, and maybe the little advice we do give is good.
And to follow the leads on any interesting thing that you think we're talking about. We think we're talking out of our ass, like go and research whatever the fuck we're talking about. Follow the leads.
Yeah, like, and we'll fully admit to not knowing everything.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so like we're just trying to set you into that motion of doing your own research in a way.
Yeah, damn right.
And I know we should probably do more of our own research, but we're not going to know everything about every subject. So, like, that gives the people who are interested in, like, books to go look up the authors we talk about, or people who are interested in science to go look up the scientists we talk about.
Or movies, or
just anything. Look up the actors, follow their career. Because we can talk about, like, low-grade movies, but that'll boost their career. But anyways, like I said, it's a big talk coming from someone with energy drinks and nicotine to say to eat healthy. But even just doing that can have such an impact on how your life goes.
Very true.
And, it's America. Well, where we are, it's America. And, land of the free, you can't tell me what to eat. And, I can. But I can give you some decent advice from shit I picked up along the way.
And I have noticed, just like you were saying about talking more healthier, it seems to me... No, it's hard for me when I talk about anything because, like, I'm the type of person, I'm being almost hypocritical in a sense because when I get into something, then I get into it really hard and then I'll, like, either die off or I'll kind of keep it around or something. But it seems to me like people that start getting into being healthier, eating healthier, working out and doing all this stuff, it's like they gain this positive inertia where it's like you start going from eating healthy to eating healthy and working out healthy, eating healthy and trying to do as much things as possible to be healthy. A lot of them I think are lunatics. Like I do think people take it too far.
Yeah, they can. Like the workout influencers, right? But then again, it's like, you see the influencers on there and they're just like, maybe that motivates someone.
Exactly.
And that's, you may not like to watch them. You may think the TikToks or the YouTube shorts are kind of stupid when it's just like someone at the gym showing you how to do stuff. But they're really not. Like if it helps someone get the encouragement to work out and the willpower, then I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not my type of videos, but I'm not going to shame those people.
And personally, you can decipher that however you want. Yes, I'm unmotivated. I'm undisciplined. I am not an extremist in any sense, in any form of anything. But maybe that's my fault. Maybe I'm like a lazy worm, a spineless fucking piece of slithering goop, globbity gloop. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like David Goggins would probably think I'm pathetic.
As the martial arts teacher in South Park would say, you whack a discipline.
I whack a discipline. I whack a discipline really bad. And
Alex, if that's racist, cut it out.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's a reference to South Park. It's an illusion, everybody.
Yeah, it's an illusion. With an A.
Yeah, with an A.
With an A.
But,
we're English teachers now.
Yeah. But, that's my personal thing. And actually, the reason I really went down into the whole vegan thing is because this is a conversation that me and a fellow coworker, a good friend of mine, his name is Chris, and I can say that because he actually wants to come on the podcast also sometime. Okay. Different person than the one I was talking about last time, but he wants to come on because he is a health freak. He's a nut.
He would probably shame the fuck out of me.
Oh no, he really isn't like that. He's a very understanding person, but he's a nut about his own health.
That's good.
It's so respectable for me. Like I respect it so much.
Like anyone who can keep on a weekly diet plan for like months to years and then just switch it up to something that's like the same but it still works and it's a good diet, like more power to you. If you work out like for 3 hours a day, more fucking power to you.
And this is his thing, is like, we work where we work at and everything, but he was an athlete in high school and he just wanted to maintain that. He wanted to be the best athlete that he could. So he started to research what is healthiest for his body, and he wanted to try veganism. He tried it once, and the first time, he went back, how would I say it? Not withdrawal, but when you go back and I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but he went back into his old patterns.
He relapsed.
He relapsed, exactly. Haha, knuckles me. Yeah, he relapsed back into eating like regular food and everything, and then he was like, well, shit, I want to try it again. And from what he's told me, he's been vegan for like 2 years straight on.
Damn.
He's finding out ways to make like burgers and things like this and all kinds of stuff to like supplement his, or to like, try and get like certain levels of taste and everything that he wants. And, he tells me all these recipes and everything. He says he hasn't drank pop in like 10 years or something, which is awesome.
I need to do that. I just need to quit pop in general. That would help me lose so much weight because of like I said, 2 of these a fucking day.
Yeah, it's definitely not good.
No, it's horrible. But you don't even have to beat around the bush about that. That shit's gonna kill me.
Yeah, it's not my place to tell anybody anything, honestly.
I'm not dissing Red Bull. They make a great drink in my opinion, but the way I drink it, it's probably gonna kill me fucking young.
It comes to moderation.
Yeah.
You need to know your balance in every aspect of life.
Like, I don't want to get like, fucking shot at by Red Bull, but yeah, I love their drinks.
Hey, Red Bull, sponsor us.
Yeah,
give us wings, please. Let us fly.
Good reference.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I think it'd be cool to get him on the podcast because me and him, you were saying, he'd probably shame the fuck out of me, but he won't because he's so understanding. Because me and him, we've had the conversation, and actually, I'd say that's where my most experienced knowledge from veganism comes from, is from him. And he referenced me to a documentary. I haven't got around to watching it, but I want to watch it. But we get in the conversations because he actually lives just down the road. He would pick me up and we'd ride to work. I would fall asleep in the mornings because it's hard for me to stay awake. But on the ride home, we'd have great conversations. And that's why I think he'd be great to come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, man, I'm down to have him down. I think after, let's say probably the 8th episode, we can start to try to get people on. because I also want to get in touch with bigger YouTubers.
Yeah, same, yeah.
I want to, there's another fitness guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know him, but I've watched his, like, YouTube shorts, and maybe a lot of you have too, maybe. But,
possibly.
His YouTube handle is Hybrid Calisthenics.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. I forget what his actual name is, but he teaches you just light calisthenic workouts, and he teaches you just body health in general. Like if you're drinking caffeine and you want to weed off it, try doing it only every other day. Like drink coffee only like every 4 days out of 7. You know what I mean?
That's smart.
But no, he'll like teach you really basic calisthenic workouts. Like if you want to learn how to do push-ups but you can't do it on the floor yet, as much as I can't, he'll teach you like how to lean on the wall, how many sets to do for how many days and stuff like that, and then like when to go up. His videos are more detailed than most workout videos I ever see.
Nice, that's
like
cool.
And he's such a friendly character. Not character, that makes him sound fake.
Yeah.
But he's such a friendly person in his videos, and I would really love to have him on to talk about fitness and health.
That would be awesome, yeah. Especially to be able to go with some, like, you know, not, I would say, dissing anybody, but minor league YouTubers, you know. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get fucking Rogan, you know what I mean, instantly. It'd be nice to get some, like, lower level people, you know, that would understand. And obviously, we're the lowest of the low, so that's clearly not a diss on anybody.
Yeah, so, and, you know, and yeah, I'll say it. It kind of goes hand in hand with helping us build by getting these, like, even just mid-level, even if they have, like, 1 million subscribers, that'd be something big for us.
That'd be amazing.
It's like, compared to, like, the knowledge I want to bring to the show, it's, like, yeah, it's important for us to get, like, at least to me, it's, like, really important to, like, try to build to get the subscribers and shit like that. But it's also, I want to get the higher level people, and then just have more involved people.
Absolutely.
And I want to bring, a lot of people are saying, like, who we should request to have on an interview.
I'd seen whoever you are that said Michael Pollan and Sam Harris. I was the one that liked that. I seen you responding to it, but I love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes, I hope we can get both of them on and more.
But we also don't want to take, like, the complete Rogan or any other podcaster route and bring on the same people that's been on like 20 other podcasts.
It depends. Yeah. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
But like we do want to bring more low-level people. We want to help each other build. Like, you know, if their subscribers see that they're on our podcast, we'll get more, and then the more we get, the more will be pushed to other people who will see who we interviewed and they'll go check them out. It's a repeating cycle that I want to try to get into.
I love how you say that, actually, because that's been my thought from the beginning is like, yeah, obviously I want to interview these, you know, high profile people as well.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody does. But, you know, in the same sense, we have to take into accountability, you know, these people, even the mid-level YouTubers that are above us, you know, hopefully they recognize us as something that might be valuable to do to help out. And then the same thing, you gotta pay your dues. You gotta help fucking drag them up out the mud. You gotta help these motherfuckers climb the ladder. You yank them up by their fucking hair if you have to. You know what I mean?
And that's why, like, maybe if we get more on the line, we have other podcasters on. Just, you know, depending on what their podcast is about, if it's something that interests us, we can help boost them and they can help boost us. Like, because we just want to be part of that community where everyone isn't competing as much for, like, you know, the most likes or subscribers. Yeah, they're nice, but we want to get them along with certain people, you know what I mean? We want to help each other build into, like, this own community of ours.
And that's why I want a level of reality involved in it as well, you know, because that's why, like, at first I'm not ashamed of, or I'm not, how do I say it, apprehensive to bring on just random people, or like people that, you know, obviously have no following at all, because why the fuck not? That's what we're doing. We want to interview reality. Most podcast guests, in a sense, or, you know, a lot of what you see, even on YouTube, which wasn't the biggest thing at first, but on YouTube and TV and everything, it's superficial. You're not getting real people. You're getting these people that have their persona that they've developed, you know. I want to bring on...
They've been a personality on platforms for years and years, and people know who they are. And we want to just... while we want to like still bring those type of people on, we still want to bring our own version of what we think is important to the table.
Exactly, and it just as much as I desire and want to bring them people on, I also want to have everybody from the lowest levels as possible to bring together that balance to show the reality of what is going on, of all these different guests, because everybody's unique in their own way. As fucking cliche as that is, I know I hear the kids outside.
Fucking kids, man.
I hope you guys don't hear that.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't have a problem bringing on random guests. And honestly, that was one of my first ideas for like when we were thinking of subsections or like other random ass videos that we can do to go onto the channel is like taking the podcast out into public, kind of like, what's that dude's name? Steven Crowder, but not like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to do like, I don't want to start off immediately with like, come fight me, come challenge me, come debate me. I don't want nothing like that. But just to go out into public, into real life, and just interview random people. To me, that's exciting as fuck.
It will be fun.
It might not have any fucking, might not be attention grabbing, or people might not have any value to them or to anybody else, but personally, I just think that'd be so cool. You know what I mean? If somebody wants to get interviewed like that, like, why not? If you can bring a little spark of joy to somebody's day, like, dude, you're gonna be on the internet, man. Like, people are gonna watch this. Might be 20 people.
I'll say you're gonna get seen by 30 people,
bro. That's 30 people, bro. You know what I mean?
So we're advertising, especially people from around here, or people. Take what, like say we interview a store manager of a certain store we like, right? And then if they're the only one here, then the Michigan viewers will, see it. But if they're like a nationwide type conglomerate, then, people around the country will get it. Or nation, I guess.
Yeah, completely. And that does take away from what I see as part of the superficiality of everything, and is that we'll have that base reality, we'll be able to have that, what I say, adaptability on both ends of the spectrum, which a lot of people don't seem to have. At least I personally find that interesting.
Yeah, like a lot of people have like comedian podcasts where they only bring on comedians, history podcasts that they bring on historians, shit like that. We just want to branch out. And yeah, kind of like the Rogan theme where we just branch out to everywhere and try to absorb as much random fucking knowledge as we can.
Exactly.
But we want to get it a lot from our own sources while also trying to achieve getting them, like the same people.
Well, yeah, because it's awesome. Oh, my bad, I'm not.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
I was going to say, because it's awesome when people have their shtick, like the history of the comedians or everything like that. But just like you said, there's the smorgasbord. The smorgasbord of everything coming in at one point in time. I want to have that melting pot, that black hole area where everything gets sucked into, and hopefully that becomes here. That'd be so fucking cool, I think, personally.
Probably won't have a lot of guests in this apartment. We don't know yet.
Yeah,
but
only friends, really, for the most part.
Yeah.
The two people that I know of so far that want to come on.
I mean, eventually down the line, one of us are going to have our own place, and hopefully we can find like a basement, like a finished basement.
That'd be nice.
Turn into a studio.
Yeah.
That's the overall dream, to be able to just go to your house, or even if we like later on bought property and then made a studio somewhere else. Yeah. Like that'd be fun to do.
Exactly. I think that'd be so fucking cool. But yeah, at this point, we fucking touched a lot. Oh, I do want to go back. I never finished my thought. My buddy Chris. No, we fucking dove off into some beautiful novelty.
Yeah.
But my buddy Chris, like I said, we'd get into the conversation so much about like veganism and everything. Like me personally, my views are like, and I was always, my grandma comes from Arkansas. She's got that southern cooking, southern fried cooking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my grandma's the best cook in the world. I swear, and that's obviously nostalgia and love, but my grandma makes the best food, and so I've always grown up with that Andrew Zimmern type of thought of if it looks good, eat it. I've always thought that, because southern fried cooking, you got so much butter and everything's all nasty and unhealthy and so good. I love it. So personally, I'll never get out of that. I need to eat more healthy. I need to increase the amount of healthy food that I eat, but I'll never completely dive away from that. And me and Chris have had that conversation. It's like, yeah, I know it'll affect me negatively down the line, but it's not necessarily the argument of I'm here for a good time, not a long time. But it's like, what's the point of spending so much life if you're not getting that much joy out of it?
Well, that brings up the same point from earlier, is just the moderation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can definitely enjoy like all the fatty foods you want, but like get the serving and then enjoy that taste. Like savor it, remember it, because you want to eat healthy. Then you can only have a serving of such and such.
Mm-hmm.
But
and it turns more into a reward, a positive reinforcement.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I love food. I love food so much.
Yeah, the problem is people, myself included, get spoiled with choice. Like, when you're a kid, you're going to eat what mama made or you're going to fucking starve. Either that or your parents would cook something for you like Kraft macaroni. You see that commercial where the daughter won't eat anything, but she'll eat Kraft macaroni. I was that kid, not going to lie. I was spoiled in that way. But a lot of times they weren't going to make anything else, and you ate what you ate.
Damn right.
And it was good at that young age to have that bit of portion control, a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's because I had someone do it for me when I was younger. When I was in charge of it, I always got more and more.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't necessarily want to blame my grandma, rest her soul, but my God, dude. Her and your grandma could fight.
Damn, them are fighting words, man.
Alright,
you're coming to my grandma's house now, though. But that's, unsubstantiated, because I'll never be able to taste your grandma's food. I can imagine it was fucking amazing.
Dude, it was amazing.
Oh my God. Tell me, what's one staple dish that you remember?
The baked macaroni or the mashed potatoes.
Oh, sounds
because the mashed potatoes were like the extremely whipped kind where, when it was in its serving bowl, you could still see, the butter on it. Yeah. That was some good shit.
Making me hungry.
This is some Thanksgiving shit that's going through my head.
I'll take you to my grandparents, though. You gotta eat some of my grandma. My grandma doesn't cook as often anymore, because, she doesn't like getting around and doing as much stuff now, which is understandable, but when she does cook, my grandma's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, you need to eat some of Brad's food, too.
I want to try
Oh my God, I'm so fucking... I think I've talked about this already. I'm so fucking proud of Brad. I really am. And it makes me jealous and bitter and spiteful and so proud and loving and happy and joyous that his food is better than mine. I love it so much.
Yeah, because you've been talking about culinary since high school.
Yeah.
You would always read books by Anthony Bourdain and shit like that. I don't know a lot of cooks. So that's why I just said Anthony Bourdain.
Hey, that's my favorite. Honestly, I would still consider my favorite book of all time. I don't know, it's up here somewhere. That's medium rare, but...
It's right by the Charles Bukowski book to the right.
Where at? Over here? Yeah. That's medium raw. That's the second book after Kitchen Confidential. Okay. But Kitchen Confidential is still to this day probably my favorite book of all time.
And for those of you who don't know, Brad is his cousin. And I shouldn't be the one telling the story, but from the longest time I can remember since we were friends, you've always talked about culinary and stuff like that, and that's what his younger cousin's going to school for right now.
Yeah, I guess it was a good time. I was dead set. Wow, I had to have been probably 15 or 16 when I first read Kitchen Confidential. My mom was looking for it because she was a cook. My mom was a cook, which is partially the reason why I was inspired to cook. And then she'd gotten this book. We went to Lowry's bookstore. Shout out Lowry's. We're not sponsored, but they're awesome. Support small bookstores and businesses. But
is Lowry's considered a small bookstore?
Yeah.
Are they a conglomerate?
They have two different stores, maybe more, but as far as I know, just the two. But I would consider it.
Yeah, still shout out to them because they always have a great selection.
Yeah, they're not like
I can always find something at Lowry's.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not like Barnes and Noble or Amazon or anything. So that's why I would consider them
Audible.
Or Audible.
I still love Audible, but support your local bookstore.
Yeah, damn right.
If you have the time to read, support them.
Absolutely. And so she was looking for that book there, and she didn't read it for a while, and so I took it and I started reading it. I don't even remember when. I remember I went on a road trip and I was reading it then. But the book was my first real introduction into thinking about the realm of chefs and cooking and everything that goes into it. And oh my God, I recommend the book to anybody. It's such a detailed and wonderful book. It's so good. It's so entertaining, even if you don't like to cook. But it was just, to me, so inspiring and so entertaining that I was like, man, I just want to be a cook. And then I started watching a show, not Kitchen Confidential, that's the book, but what is it? There's Parts Unknown, and then No Reservations. Is his two shows, and was his two shows.
Yeah.
Then I fell in love with it, and I wanted to just cook. I thought it was so awesome. And so I started checking out KVCC, because I was thinking about their culinary program, and they had a brewing program, and I was so excited about it, and I was honestly dead set, like that was what I was going to do. And then my senior year of school, my parents seen on the news the medicinal plant chemistry program up in northern Michigan, and I was like, man, you can't trade that out, man. You can't trade that out. So I had to go with that, and I still love cooking, but I hit the realization that cooking is not what I want to do, because cooking is a stressful job, and in the words of
that's why you gotta learn to cook for yourself. Like that's just like a personal joy you keep with you.
Exactly.
Like the knowledge that you can make good food out of almost anything in the fucking house. You can be dirt poor, you can have bread and cheese and still figure out how to make a good culinary meal from that shit. You know what I mean?
And that's what matters to me. Yeah, and maybe not his exact words, but a video I'd seen of Marco Pierre White. Marco Pierre White is one of the chefs that had taught Gordon Ramsay. He was one of his head chefs, and so he's an amazing chef. He's got his own like Australian cooking show and shit like that. And he's a hilarious guy. He's a very intelligent guy. He's an amazing chef. And one of the things that he said is like getting 5 Michelin stars, like getting up to the point where you have all the stars that you can get. One of the best restaurants in the world, and then like, in your career as a chef, it's all about chasing that, getting to that point. But once you get to that point, it's all about maintaining it, and then it loses the lackluster. It just isn't the same. And so he gave up, and I think he wrote a book, and he started doing the shows and everything. But so I realized, it's not necessarily what I want to do. I think I would lose the joy. Like, my mom got burnt out on cooking, and I think I would lose the joy of cooking if I cooked for other people.
Yeah. That's why you gotta learn to cook for yourself. That's where that portion control thing comes in, too. If you can make a good fucking portioned out meal that you don't feel like you could eat another bite, even though you really could, but you just don't feel like it because it was so good, it was so filling. If you go get a snack afterwards, it's not even going to be able to get to that level of what you just prepared for yourself. You're just like, why even fucking bother?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, no one's, I would, but like someone who's like really into food, they're not gonna like eat a lobster they made with like, whipped mashed potatoes and shit like that with homemade butter. They're not gonna go for a fucking Twinkie after that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. There's levels of intensity with the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, I enjoy cooking, and I do consider myself a good cook, but I am, like I said, joyously, jealously so amazed and just, I don't know, I'm blown away and with pride at the fact that he's so much of a better cook than I am now. He's surpassed me by leagues. He is way beyond the basic level of cook, and he's only 19. You know what I mean? I'm like, man.
I would love to. I'd love to try it. I'd love to have him as a guest. Like, if depending on what he can talk about. Like, I'm not sure if he swore to secrecy at culinary school, but
nah, me and Brad go rounds. So we got all kinds of shit we can talk about. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to have him on. I haven't seen him in a fucking minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've talked to him about it too. He said he wants to come on sometime.
Yeah.
So
I'm down with it.
He'd be a great guest, yeah, because Brad's like literally my little brother. I mean, he always has been, yeah. Because I don't have a little brother, so it's not even like that.
I never had anyone to look to as like a younger brother. Like I'm the youngest in my family, so and I'm older than most kids. And I can call someone my brother, but I've never looked at someone as like a little brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's actual family. Like I've had cousins, but I was literally the youngest in my family. If anyone was younger than me, they were like, I'd be 15 and they were like 4.
Oh wow! I mean? Yeah, way younger.
Yeah, or they'd be like annoying kids while I was a teenager. They'd be like 7 or 9. And how. Family get-togethers are, oh hey, you guys can play together, and it's like, I am 10 years older than this fucking kid. Get him away from me. But
I used to hate that so much. In even like family gatherings or like going over to my parents' friends or something.
Yeah,
I always knew the
gotta
code.
play with the neighbor kid.
that was always the code for we're gonna go smoke a bomber. Like, oh, why don't you go play with Brooklyn? Go for a walk, or we're gonna go for a walk. It's like, I wonder what you're doing.
Yeah, where you guys going so many times?
What's it smell like skunk over here? Yeah, like we always knew, but mostly it was mostly because my parents' friends' kids were unaware. So well, you know, okay, we'll play with the kid that's 7 years younger than us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's shit. That's shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I was never a dick to any one of my mom's friends' kids. Like when they would set me up, but like. You knew there was no chemistry with those friends, and I'm sure even, you know, most of them feel the same way. They're like, yeah, I know this kid. Like, we're acquaintances, not friends.
Exactly. It's just odd.
Yeah. I do remember when I was a fucking kid, and I had, you know, for first 12 years of my life, I had this neighbor kid. So I won't say his name because I haven't seen him in a while. But he'd always come over a lot. And we'd play on the trampoline and shit like that. And, you know, dude, I was like the older, I guess, you know, I guess I could have seen him as a little brother when I was that age, but after we stopped, you know, seeing each other, that was all she wrote, really.
Fade out.
Yeah.
Fizzled out.
Yeah. And, you know, nice kid. But, yeah, I'd be on the trampoline, you know, confident little 7-year-old me be teaching him, like, how to save girls and shit with, like, wrestling moves and shit. Like, yeah, this is how all women are queens. Or, like, how to impress girls and shit like that, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I guess in that way he was my younger brother, but, yeah.
I get that, yeah.
It's those friends you had when you were kids that you don't even know about anymore, like... If anyone our age, well, most of them watching this is around our age, but if you think about it, just like try to remember your old childhood friends. Like if you ever moved schools, think about the ones at your first school, those like very faded faces in the back of your fucking mind. The ones that like kind of fuck your psyche a little bit.
I've written a poem about it because it actually does mess with me sometimes. Because I was thinking about it, not just friends, but like, you know, friends and co-workers and people you've gone to school with and, you know, random people that you just met and, you know, so many people have an influence on your life if you realize it or not in so many different aspects. You know, they probably change certain little ways that you thought about this or that and this and that, and, you know, over time it just fades to black and you don't realize it. Hearts and thoughts, they fade. You know, you just don't even think about it. But, yeah, it does kind of... It fucked with me at first when I thought about it until I started to think about it in that sense of like, well, it's still amazing, you know what I mean, that you did have that time.
Yeah, you had that friendship, even if it was just for like a few years of your life and you just don't remember it, you don't think about it every day. But when you do, it kind of makes a smile creep on your face, like, yeah, when I was a kid, man.
Exactly, and those are the moments that make me cherish it because you think, oh, maybe every once in a while that person just fucking randomly out of nowhere thinks about some fucking stupid ass thing I told them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it makes you smile in a sense. But I always think about that. You know, even kids from school, I don't really talk to anybody from our class anymore.
I don't either.
But I love them all. I really do. There's a lot of them that piss me the fuck off. And
a lot of the annoying ones.
Oh my god, but I still love them. They've had such an impact on my life. They really have.
You know, I won't even go that far. Like...
I can though, I can.
Yeah. You knew a lot of the people at our high school a lot longer than I did though. So you had that like bond, that connection. You knew everyone's like kind of their own faults, what made them annoying. So it grew on you. I just went there in high school. I knew these people like last 4 years of, you know, ever seeing them aside from you.
Yeah.
But like... I've only known them for 4 years, so like that was my interpretation of them. I didn't grow up with them. So, in that way, it has different memories too. Like you'll think about this person as, you know, he's either good or bad, and I'll probably think the opposite depending on who it is. Yeah.
And I can understand 90% of the time exactly where you're coming from. You know what I mean? I know.
It's like you know who I'm talking about. And, you know, yeah, being the kid who claimed to be be Satanist in high school, you're gonna have people like talking shit, talking behind your back because, oh, this is a weird kid that only wears black. He worships Satan. It's like, is that what I do? Yeah. Really? Man, I didn't know I worshiped Satan. I didn't know about this.
And that's what I recognized was it was like, you know, if somebody's so quick to pass off judgment on something without actually finding out what they're about, then they're not worth your time in the first place.
Exactly. Like, I remember hearing rumors, like, wasn't anything bad, just like people saying stuff, like I was saying 5 seconds ago, oh, you know, he's a Satanist, and it's like, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you even know what a Satanist is? Like, yeah, there's, you know, Satanists that actually think there's a Satan, and they worship the devil, you know. little devil.
Lucifer.
But, yeah, Lucifer. But no, I believe in the Anton LaVey philosophy, if you will. Like, have you read the Satanic Bible? Did you get through that?
Me, yeah.
Oh, you did get through that? I didn't read the ending chapter. It was like the keys.
The keys, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read that much into it, but I read like the entire like script of what it was about. I just got lost after the keys.
I don't want to cut you off.
You're good.
My favorite quote from the Satanic Bible, while I have it in my head, is "Life is the great indulgence, and death is the great abstinence." I love that so much. Every time I think of the Satanic Bible, that's my favorite part. Oh, it's so amazing because in Christianity they preach abstinence and, you know, don't enjoy anything about life. That way you can persevere in the next life, and, you know, they're pretty much saying seize the moment and, you know, suck the marrow out of life.
You know, that's what got me more into Satanism is because of that. Because, you know, I grew up in a Christian household. Like, you know, we didn't go to church every Sunday, but I went to a Christian school all my life. I want to go back to the school and visit. I do want to do that. I want to see what they think of this.
No shit, that would be a good idea.
But
we should make a video.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Even if we don't release it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. But no, I grew up in a, you know, Christian household my whole life. Went to a Christian school, went to church every so often, and, you know, anything that was related to the devil scared me until I got to like high school, and then I started to open my eyes a bit, and I realized that not everything that's satanic is involving the devil. It's an idea, it's a philosophy, and it's just a beautiful way of thinking because they look at Satan as a symbol of self-expression and freedom, while other religions you have to follow these certain guidelines to be able to be a part of that heaven, to be a part of that beautiful afterlife. But a lot of religions intersect in their own ways. They have more in common than they lack.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and that's where Satanism kind of comes in. They hate organized religion. I love all my friends that, you know, are Christian, Buddhist, you know, what little Buddhist friends I have in southern Michigan.
I got you.
But, you know, Islamic, I don't care what you believe in. I just don't like the organized religion.
Exactly.
You know, some churches do good, but a lot of them are just in it for the money. And, you know, it'd be one thing if they just expanded, like, the main part where service is held to have more seats. If they, you know, build a following to need more seating, then that's something. But if, you know, if you're adding on a gymnasium to your church, like, you know, the one over there, and I don't know, I just don't see the reason for it. Unless it's, you're treating it as a community center. Can I go into that? Will you let me into that church? Like, if I want to, like, play basketball in the church, gym, yeah. Then will you let me do that?
If they're real Christians, they should.
Yeah, that's my opinion. And I really want to get that into people's heads. Like, just because I'm a Satanist doesn't mean you have to hate me. I don't want you to go burn in eternity. I've never said that to someone. I mean, I have maybe as a joke, but I've never said that in a serious way. Like, I hope they burn in hell, unless we're talking about like pedophiles and shit like that.
Exactly.
But, you know, I'll never wish, aside from that and a few other, you know, stigmas, to wish someone an eternity of suffering, like in the afterlife, if there is one. agnostic Satanism. So, you know, we believe that, you know, there's no afterlife, but, you know, there's that part of my brain that's like, maybe there is. So that's what keeps me also interested in psychedelics, so I can try to find like a spiritual awakening if I can do them like you're supposed to, not like if you're partying with them and shit like that.
Yeah, completely.
But yeah, it's more or less my thoughts on it.
And I definitely agree. Well, I mean, we disagree in certain circumstances, but we agree on a majority of what we're talking about. Because, you know me, obviously, I consider myself theistic between, you know, just the certain research I've done, and, you know, I pulled this from here, this from there, and this from there. But I 100% agree with the fact on organized religion. I don't think that organized religion is beneficial in any way. I think it's actually quite malevolent. I don't think there's any reason that churches should be tax exempt. That makes no sense to me at all. And actually there's evidence for why I don't think that. I don't know if you've heard about this, but somebody in our local town actually just got caught embezzling from the church and got charged with 2 counts of stealing over $31,000 so they could pay for their daughter's wedding and for groceries and random shit like this. So yeah, those people need to go to jail. I don't agree with that at all. But, you know,
so fucking warm in here.
It is getting warm, I know, yeah. Shit, I should have turned the AC on, I didn't even think about it. But that's, you know, my biggest thing is organized religion itself. The systems were meant to be beneficial, and as anything that humans create, it got warped and demented and turned into
I think it's been warped and demented for ever since England translated the Bible. Ever since like men started to translate the Bible for their own gaining. The Bible isn't original anymore.
I would say I'd go a lot farther back than that.
Yeah, much farther.
Yeah,
but
honestly.
It was a lot of England that changed the Bible. A lot of England and a lot of Italy, especially with the Catholic Church and the Vatican and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
But my problem, essentially, you know, which ties into yours, is the fundamental structure, organized religion itself and trying to make the money on it, and then the people on every level of the hierarchy, you know, from whether you're a cardinal or some Catholic priest that's molesting kids, or if you're, you know, this person that claims to be this or that but doesn't know what they're talking about and is actually preaching falsehoods, or is, you know, trying to use talking out of their ass and saying that, oh, well, it's in the Bible and it's really not, or this or that, you know what I mean? So that's my biggest problem with religion, is the people and what the people create. But the fundamental doctrines themselves, if you actually get into them, I believe are beneficial, and that's where the spirituality, that's where the essence lies. If you can decipher it, if you can see what they're trying to talk about instead of looking at it face value and actually seeing the real teachings, and that's what I think is beneficial.
See, I agree on that too. I love reading religious texts. Like, it's so much different to actually read the book for yourself and understand what they're trying to tell you than to go to church and be told what they were trying to tell you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, study it for yourself. That's probably the best way it's gonna, you know, get around.
Yeah.
Get around. That was a dumb
Get around.
segment. Yeah, I lost my wording there.
Well, I know what you're saying, though, because that's how I see it also. You know, I don't need to go somewhere and have somebody teach me what it says inside the book. I can figure that out for myself. You know, it's good. It is nice to have certain teachers, but you're not going to agree with everybody.
As long as they aren't biased.
Exactly.
That's my thing.
And my personal favorite teacher, at least on Christian doctrine for one, is definitely Jordan Peterson. Yeah. Dude, he did such a good job on the biblical series, and he's going back to go even farther into it.
Oh, I can't wait.
You want to talk like Buddhism and Hinduism, you know, you've got Ram Dass, you've got Chogyam Trungpa, you've got, I can't think of his name.
Well, you said Trump, so we're getting canceled.
Yeah, Trump, yeah, that's not at all what I said. But, you know, you've got so many different teachers from so many different classes and certain things, but that's, like I said, my biggest problem is the people and the religions themselves. But even if you get into, like, you know, Gnosticism, because you talk about there's no real devil or anything like that, and there's no, or there's no God, or there's nothing, you don't know, you know what I mean, you're agnostic in a sense, but like the Gnostics, not the agnostics, but the Gnostics, Gnosticism, which is also a different section of Christianity. It's it's esoteric, or exoteric, esoteric. It's an esoteric form of Christianity, and what they believe is that obviously they're both allegory, they're both metaphors, and that the metaphor is that you're one and the same. You are God and you are the devil. You're both combined in the same thing.
That's exactly what Satanism teaches too.
Exactly.
Heaven and hell are a concept of your life on earth. And whatever you believe and whatever you put into yourself, what you put into this world, that's what defines heaven or hell. You can, make your life miserable. I mean, you can't make it. It's a lot of people's are circumstantial. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anyone chooses to, suffer in life.
But
some people do.
Some people do. Yeah.
And if you just spend all your life suffering and not trying to fix who you are, then you're already in hell. Because you're depressed, you have high anxiety, you don't know what tomorrow brings. No one does, but especially for the people who are depressed, they don't care and stuff. That's so professional. So professional. But
I think that's our first and stuff though. So in 7 episodes, eh?
I doubt that. I think I've said it a few times.
Probably have to.
But it's just you are your own God. Is what Satanism teaches. You are your own God and you are the devil. It kind of goes into what Jordan Peterson says, and you have to be in touch with your dark side to be able to prosper on the light side.
Any tree that grows into heaven has roots that go all the way down into hell. Carl Jung. I love it. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's my quote now.
It's because you need to integrate the shadow self or the darker aspects of yourself into your whole being as it is. And
like if you're into house defense, I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment, but I do think background checks should be a little stiffer. I'll get a lot of shit because I don't know all the aspects of that. If any gun nut watches this, they're gonna call me out for, you shouldn't be like this, blah blah blah. And
you fucking libtard.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hate both parties.
I do too.
I don't care.
But no, it's exactly like that. Hold on, Alex, give me a minute. Guns. Well, I can't remember where I was going with that.
Second Amendment and people, you don't want somebody to be calling you a libtard. Where were you going with that?
I can't remember.
I really don't know.
Give me a minute.
Home protection, something about home protection. Maybe we were talking about malevolence and integrating the shadow.
Yes. Okay, I got it. All right, Alex. So if you are big on home defense, I have a shotgun by my bed.
Same.
I
got a pistol too.
Yeah. And I want to get a handgun. I have a pistol too, but no ammo.
I like yours though.
Yeah, but I need to get something better than a fucking 6-shooter.
I'll buy it.
A fucking cop gun. No, because that was my first handgun.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I have to keep that.
Yeah.
It's going to be antique when I'm older. Yeah.
Damn right.
But, but you need to be prepared. Integrating your shadow self, I'm just paraphrasing you at this point, but you have to be prepared to kill somebody if you have to. Like if you're defending your home or if you're defending your family, if you enter that situation without coming to the terms that you may at some point have to take a life, then you need to figure that out yourself. You need to understand that this could happen. This isn't just a scenario in my head. I actually might have to, take a human's life. This is just in robbery situations, stuff like that. I'm not saying anyone go out and start taking lives like it's the old West out here.
Yeah, exactly. Integrate your shadows, go out and murder people. Charles Manson, no, fuck no. Yeah, but
you have to understand that you will be able to do it. You have to connect with yourself inside and have to understand that you'll be able to do that. And that goes for even people who don't agree with home defense laws like that, no gun in the house, stuff like that. I can respect those people too. I don't agree with them personally, but I'll respect them for their choice. But even they need to be able to understand that it may come to it someday.
Yeah.
You don't know, and this is a fucked up world. And you can't always rely on a 27-minute response time.
Exactly.
You can hope to God a cop's around the corner from your house when you call them, but you never know. Most police response times, I think they say, are close to a half hour. A pizza will get delivered to your house faster than a cop will arrive.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
But which one good way, just throw it in there, of saying it is like you must understand that not only you but everybody. Did I put that on? What the fuck? Not only you but everybody has the potential for malevolence. Is a great way of putting it. It's not necessarily that you have to use it or that you're gonna have to use it, but you have to understand you have that potential. Everybody has that potential for malevolence. And to do evil deeds, and one good way of looking at it is through history. People are so ignorant of history, but you have to look into history.
Like looking at Hitler, do you think he thought he was going to be this Nazi dictator when he was an adult? No, he wanted to go to fucking art school. But, it just didn't happen that way, and then he became his shadow self, and then he inflicted, 6 million lives?
6 million lives, probably more than that.
Much more, I guarantee. That's just what we have recorded of the bodies they found.
Yeah, and not even just Hitler, but the German people themselves at that point in time, because that is one of the best ways of looking at it. Everybody tells themselves, if I'd have been in that situation, if I'd have been in Germany at that time, I'd have been helping the Jews.
Yeah.
Statistically, that is false. You wouldn't have.
No.
You would have turned your eyes the other way. You'd have looked the other way and just let it happen. It's not like the German people said, they didn't think, oh, well, I'm just going to allow this to happen. Let's let 6 million people die. We want this. It was a slow, gradual process of people turning the other way.
Yeah.
And that's something that Peterson talks about as well, is that every decision that you make is a decision for right or wrong. And every time that you make that decision, it puts us closer towards ultimate good or ultimate evil. It's either going to be the destruction of the world, or it's going to be the utopian version of the world. Every single thing that you do, every decision matters, whether you want to admit that factor or not. Which is actually really horrifying when you start to think about that. That even comes down to the truth and the lies that you tell. Because that can start to bubble down, that can start to degrade you at your core, at your essence, at your fundamental basis, and then maybe you'll start looking the other way when these horrible atrocities start to happen, just like the German people.
Yeah, when you were saying that they would look the other way, that just brought a thought. If you say that, if you say, oh, I would have done something different, if I was in Nazi Germany at that time in, history, but then if you see like a dude abusing a female in public, like yelling at her in the store, or vice versa, even if a female yells at a dude and he's like being treated like trash, or she is, I'm not gender shaming anyone when it comes to this shit. I'm not trying to anyway. But it works either way. If you see someone abusing someone else in public and you look the other way, you have no right to say that you would have done anything different in Nazi Germany, because that was much more brutal circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even if you were of good heart in Nazi Germany, like, I don't think you would have risked your life to save these people. I think it comes down to survival at that point, because, it's either those people die or you'll die trying to help them, and a lot of people have the survival instinct of looking out for their best interests. And, as much as that sucks, and a lot of people in World War II did overcome that. You heard about the old man that saved all those Jewish children.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the one they brought on the TV show.
He's one of the few people in history that can say he actually did something about it.
It's ultimate good.
And just think, most of Germany didn't even like Hitler. But they still went along with it.
Yeah.
Like, if they all would have just said, no, fuck you, nothing would have happened. But, you have that, then you'll have a target on your back. But, if, all of Germany decides they don't want him in office, there's not much that can be done. I mean, there is now, and probably a lot more back then, like secret police and shit like that would take you away and torture you. But, yeah, it's just, I'm rambling at this point for that subject, but I'm trying to just express all the thoughts I have about it.
Exactly, yeah. And which is, the best way to go about it. And I just think it's just good for people to know that, if you believe in good in any sense, then you also have to accept the reality that there is evil.
Yeah. You don't have to be ready to kill anyone, but you have to understand that you are able to if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
That is what integrating your shadow self is truly about.
Exactly, yeah. And it's definitely a tough subject. Anybody that's interested in it, definitely look up Carl Jung. Look up literally just the integration of the shadow self by Carl Jung. And that'll come up with all kinds of different shit. I do want to go back a bit though. It's important, one of the most important things we can talk about. But I just do want to go back. I want to track back a bit to like the influences of people, because that's one thing that I was thinking and I find very interesting. Is we were getting off in the tangent of like in school. You've got the influences of people from school, and even like the amount of just random people that I've had influence on me, and the amount of like even co-workers, which is the oddest one, because people that you think you can't stand, but then you grow love for them over time.
Yeah, you like as soon as you leave the job, right? You go somewhere else. You're like, man, I have to start over. I have to make new work friends. I have to figure out my fucking treading waters here. Are people here PC? Can I joke with them about certain things? Are they not?
Yeah.
And you always have to worry about that. You shouldn't have to worry about being too PC along close friends. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like, don't take your bullshit public.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Even with when I went to college for the first time, was finding that new group of friends. It was awesome. Now that I think of it, it was so fun. Yeah, I was anxious and everything at first.
Dude, I kind of want to get some of your friends on the podcast too.
I would love to actually, because I do have some funny stories.
Bring PG on.
We'll go. Yeah, I want to. I was messaging him the other day.
Where's he live again?
He's in Marquette right now.
Oh,
he's from Chicago.
Oh,
yeah, from Chicago, which isn't far though, really. I mean,
yeah.
He's at home. It's only a 2-hour drive. You can come up, but I've got good stories.
If he's willing to drive out to do an episode, that'd be dope.
Oh yeah, damn right. I'm sure he would definitely would like to
get on vacation and shit.
Yeah, because he's a smart dude too. Smarter than me, more educated than me. Yeah.
But I wish I would have found something to go to college for. I have like a welding certificate and a single business credit, but I never got into the dual enrollment things. My grades weren't that good when I wanted to do it, so I didn't do it till high school high school. That's the only time you can do it. I didn't do it until senior year, and that's when I started doing welding. And then second semester I got into business because I wanted to get that, but then I decided I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I still do. It's just I lack the willpower.
And even then,
the discipline.
The discipline.
The
yeah.
discipline.
Yeah. For me, it's just figuring out exactly what I want to do, and that's the thing. You got so much time, because even you're still so young. You've got so many years ahead of you to think about that shit. But just the fact of like you were saying, going in and restarting, like I had to restart my friends when I was up there, and at first I was so anxious, and we became such great friends, and over time, I didn't know how it was gonna go, but towards the end, how it developed, and then these kids had such a fucking big influence on my life, in a year's time, and now I don't see any of them. I want to get back up there and visit them, and I want to go and honestly go back to school at some point in time, but it's just crazy the amount of influence that people can have in our lives. And just to tie it in, we were having the religious talk, we were talking about being God and Satan at the same time, or just being God in some sense, coming to that realization. But if you come to that realization that you are God, then you have to come to the realization that everybody else is God also. And that was one of the first things that actually like I'd always been Christian. I was raised as a Christian as a kid, but one of the first thoughts that really hit me, at least when I started to develop some empathy for other people, was when I came to the realization of, actually, it's kind of funny, Family Guy helps me out so much. It's the episode of Family Guy where Jesus comes down and he's working in the fucking music store.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really thought about it. I was like, and people say, what if you're fucking talking to God or some shit like that? What if the random hobo or the random ass people or whoever the hell you're talking to really is God? You don't realize it. You know what I mean? What if that's your test? And then you're just a fucking prick to him. You know what I mean? He's asking you for $1 or something and you spit in his face or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something dumb like that.
As much as I don't like Five Finger Death Punch, it reminds me of that fucking one song, South Side of Heaven.
Never heard it.
It's a great song. It's kind of about war vets, and they're coming back and they're on the streets asking for money, and everyone just like spits on them, ignores them, doesn't even act like they're there, shit like that. You don't know, that could be fucking God.
Yeah, exactly.
And even coming from agnostic Satanist, you know, as much as that makes sense to most people. But that could be God.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
we don't know what God is. No one does. Like, Christians can say it's, you know, Middle Eastern white man with a beard. You know, they can say it's Allah. They can say it's Buddha. But no one knows. So that person that you're, like, you know, ignoring on the side of the street, and I do this too. Like, I'm not going to act like I'm a fucking martyr. But that could very well be one of your tests. Like, you're tested through until you die. And, you know, that's one thing I believe is that it doesn't matter what religion you are, as long as you're a good person and there is a heaven, that is where you will go. It doesn't matter if you're a Satanist, if you were a good and caring person to other people and treated them with respect, you get entrance into a blissful afterlife.
Exactly, and that is essentially the part where I started to drive myself mad in a sense, is because I started thinking like that, like, you know, okay, let's say, you know, like some of the new agey shit, let's say I am God, I come to the realization one day, I am God, I have Christ consciousness, I can understand everything, you know.
Cult following?
And yeah, I get myself cult following and everything, yeah, that'd be nice, but, but you know, then you have to come to the realization, if I can come to that level of enlightenment, everybody else can come to that level of enlightenment, so that means that everybody else is God too, and then you have to think about that, and then that, in a sense, started to blow my mind, like, what if every single person is God, and it's like, okay, is that something that's mind-blowing, or is that something that's not that mind-blowing?
Kind of like Unity and Rick and Morty.
Exactly, and if you think about it, on a basic physical level from science, if you realistically think about it, everything that is matter, because there's matter and there's antimatter, and then there's, on the other side of the black holes, there's the abyss, there's nothing. Now, if you think about it, everything that's in our universe that exists and takes up space and time, and is some level of material, our whole structural universe, on some level, we're a part of that. It's just like dust to dust, ashes, or ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We come from the earth. We are a part of the earth, and when we die, we're going to return to the earth. It's the same level with the universe. The earth is from the universe. You know what I mean? The earth
we're
is
all just stardust.
Exactly. We're all stardust, man. Yeah, we are stardust. I love that song so much, but it's so true if you really think about it. So at the most basic level, the most fundamental level of physical structure, if you think about it, everybody is a part of the same fundamental structure.
We're all connected.
Exactly. We're just different subsections that have developed a lens in our mind that we call the ego, that we seem to think separates us from everything else, even though everything else seems to be a part of the same thing. But we are not a part of it. We have separated ourselves from everything else, the gestalt of everything that's going on.
And that's why I love psychedelics. I want to reach the point of where I'm not questioning if there is something to look for. You know what I mean? I haven't reached that point yet. Like, it hasn't given me like such a religious experience that gives a lot of people who take it for that reason. But I want to reach that point of knowing what I can look forward to. I want to unlock the inner doors of my fucking mind. And that's what I want to look for.
Yeah.
I want to look for spirituality.
I understand that. How would I put it even? I'd definitely say they're not the answer. I think they can turn the light bulb on and show you something.
They're a study guide.
Yeah, they're a good study guide, exactly. Because that's the thing, nobody knows the answer. Even no matter what visions or things or whatever you see.
The DMT elves, as Joe Rogan puts it.
Yeah, exactly. The transforming machine elves and everything, no matter what it is, you still have no idea because you're still limited to everything that's on this side. You might be able to get as close as you think you can get, but you just have not broke on through. You'll never know until you fucking break on through, man. That is the crazy
I love that meme. I think we have it on one of our pages. That's get in, bitch, we're breaking through to the other side.
I know, yeah, that is so fucking funny. Yeah, I love that.
It's so good, though. And, you know, I know that, you know, psychedelics aren't going to be, like, the be-all, end-all of my spirituality and religious findings, but it does kind of help you disconnect from your own ego, and that, I think, is the key to finding spirituality. One of the keys, anyway.
Exactly.
Because once you accept that you don't know what's going on, once you accept that, you know, you're, you know, just another cell in this giant fucking organism of the universe, like, that's what helps. It helps you figure out, where you're going and what you want for yourself and what you can look for to make your life blissful in its own way.
Exactly, yeah.
We're hitting deep on this episode.
We're hitting
deep as fuck on this episode.
We're definitely hitting it good, I agree.
Sorry if this is a depressing episode, guys, but you need to hear it.
I wouldn't say it's even depressing.
It's interesting.
It's interesting,
yeah.
Exactly.
At least I hope other people find it like that, but we think it's interesting.
Yeah, we personally do.
So that's what's important about doing this, is doing what we like.
Exactly, yeah.
And we hope you guys just get entertainment out of it, so maybe learn a couple things here and there, maybe change your mind a bit.
Now, Alex, please cut this part out. What were we talking about just before that? I had something I was going to say too, and I lost it. I'm starting to get fucked up. I'm starting to get tired too, which is hitting me, but fuck, I had one more point to make. We were talking about... You said something about ego, which sparked something in my head.
How psychedelics can, like, kind of kill your ego.
Got it, okay, yeah, okay. Thank you.
Here we go, Alex.
So another thing, like one way that I would personally put it, or that I've been building a model in my head or a structure of a way that I think about it, and I explain this sometimes to a few different people, and I think we've talked about it a bit before, is the fact of like, there's an allegory, and the allegory talks about this dark room where there's this snake inside, and you're completely fearful to go inside this room because you know that this snake is in there.
I think you have told me this.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I thought so. And let's say you get inside the room and you brush up against the snake and it scares you, so you hop out of the room, you don't want to go in there, but all you need for one is one time to have the light bulb turn on so you can realize that the snake is just a rope and you have no need to be afraid of it.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how I see psychedelics. Psychedelic is that illuminating moment where you can realize, oh, there is something there. It won't keep you there. It won't it won't get you to the furthest level that you can get to, but it will illuminate the other side so you can realize there's nothing that you need to be scared of, but you can build up to that. And how I see it is that psychedelics are a way to... They're a shortcut, they're a cheat code to get to the top of the stairs, so you can understand what all these Hindu mystics and all these gurus and all these people are talking about. You can get a brief level of illumination, but that's why people get scared, is because these gurus and these mystics take years and years of practice, and there's certain individual practices that they do to build up to that level. So they have grounding techniques. They've been through the levels of consciousness to get up to that point. And if you haven't done the practice, you're not familiar with these realms of being, these realms of consciousness, then of course it's going to scare you if you just take a piece of paper that instantly shortcuts you to fucking enlightenment, even if that is or isn't what it is, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just getting projectiled right into that fucking level of thinking when you've never even crossed that barrier before, it's obviously going to scare you. And that's how I see it. Psychedelics are a way to illuminate that path so you can realize it's there, so you can go down that way. And that's what Ram Dass did, or Richard Alpert, the guy that was, Timothy Leary's best friend and one of the people at Harvard that was helping him do the psychedelic experiences at that time. And then after all of that, after they got fired from Harvard, Timothy Leary went down the approach of getting acid out to everybody, getting it into counterculture and getting it everywhere so people would know about it and going and talking about it. And Ram Dass went on a spiritual journey to India because he realized he'd locked himself in a room for, a week or two or something, taking acid over and over and over again so he could keep that level, so he could stay at that level of enlightenment. But every time, no matter how much he took, he always came down. So he wanted to go to India so he could find his way to stay in that state of being here now, or whatever you want to call it, his level of enlightenment. And that's just kind of how I see it.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You got out. Hold on, Alex, give me a minute.
Yeah, you're good. I know I kind of just
you're good.
Projectile that out there.
I had to listen, but what did we just talk about? Like, my brain's getting kind of fried too.
I know, I'm getting tired. Kind of like psychedelics putting you into those realms, the enlightenment, the light turning on inside the room with the snake. I guess
the way to look at it would kind of look at psychedelics as the ferryman that takes you over the river Styx when you die.
Karen.
Yes, it's the one that you pay, instead of, 2 tokens or 2 gold pieces, I think.
Drachma.
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 I think so. I think it's
Drachma.
I think it's drachma.
Drachma.
So,
Yeah.
it's drachma.
Yeah.
But that's an old way of when people died, they put coins on their eyes. Mm-hmm. So they had the toll to pay the ferryman to take them over the River Styx. In the case of psychedelics, the toll is your time and your ego. Mm-hmm. So what you do is, depending on how many you do, what grade of psychedelics you're doing, you're going to be into it for pretty much a day. Like, some good trips last, 16 to 18 hours? Depending on the substance. Yeah. But, for those hours, it seems like an eternity.
Oh, yeah.
And time dilation. And you have so much time to figure out everything. Well, not everything. You always learn.
You feel like you know everything.
Yeah, you feel like you know it for a while. But
for a minute,
I remember that with mushrooms.
Yeah, the afterglow.
Where you think you're enlightened with the universe, then the next day hits and you're just like, God damn it, I'm back.
Oh, I'm a depressed piece of shit again.
That's right. Fuck. But and don't look at psychedelics as something to cling to for depression. They do help. They do help, but it's not something to, rely on.
It's not Zoloft. Yeah.
It's not an Percocet. But. So, with psychedelics, like I said, they're like the ferryman. They're the ones illuminating the path for you across this fucking dark river of life. And he'll show you everything. He'll guide you the entire way. But once you get to the other side, it's over. And, obviously, I'm just trying to figure out where to go from there. But,
oh, yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying, though. It is. It's a great way of putting it. It really is. And I mean, obviously we're a psychedelic themed podcast, so we have to hit the psychedelic topic. And it's not even like we're venturing into those waters on purpose, but it's literally what we talk about, like 90% of the time anyways. Yeah. It's just there's so many conforming tidbits on where the psychedelics can take you in terms of research and just everything, honestly. And it's kind of funny, actually. We've been going for quite a while now, and we didn't even really talk about what I had planned on talking about, and I'm actually completely fine with that. I think we should save it for next time. Actually,
you're good with it. I don't care.
No, I actually want to. I didn't even plan on talking about it today anyways, because I wanted to go and look at a few more things.
Good idea.
To compare some certain.
I know I need to start doing research on shit too, but
so we can hit that next time.
Yeah, if you want to.
And I'd say we made some good ground today. It was a bunch of random shit, but I thought it was interesting personally. I thought we hit some good stuff. I hope you guys think so too. I don't know what that's about, but
I can't do it that good.
I wish that was funny.
Yeah, I do too. I really wish I could make people laugh, but maybe I do. Who knows?
But I'm fucking tired as it is.
Yeah, I make people laugh with dumb jokes, but
same to be honest. But yeah, I'm getting pretty wore out at this point in time, and I think we hit a lot of good shit. Honestly, this is probably one of our longest podcasts. That's not going to be like cut out a whole bunch.
No, because that's still only an hour and a half.
Oh.
Yeah, for some reason it shows you an hour, but it doesn't do like hour 30 minutes.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's
it's
weird.
Really weird.
See, I thought we were way the fuck ahead. I'm like, holy shit.
So we're probably like maybe an hour to 15 minutes, I'd assume, with the editing.
Okay. So yeah, we got this new fucking system thing going here. We're trying to try out new audio and all kinds of new shit, but yeah, I don't know. Do you want to keep rapping then? If you want to keep going, I'm down to keep going.
I'm not with keeping going, but Alex, give us a breather here. Now we gotta figure out some subjects.
Yeah, maybe cut some of that out.
Yeah,
probably about me talking some bullshit, but I mean we can do that topic if you want. Yeah, what time do we got? 9:30?
Yeah, it's 9:30. I mean, we can end it here because we still gotta. Okay, so we can just do an outro then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think we got at least a good hour, 15 minutes.
I'd say we're good.
Yeah, we packed a lot of information into that podcast. We were talking for a minute.
That was a good one, yeah. Especially getting into God and all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going. Are we talking to the camera right now?
I don't know.
Fuck it. I guess we're talking to the camera right now.
How you guys doing?
Hey guys, we made it through another one. Episode 7. Oh yeah, remember I was doing dumb voices at the beginning anyways. So
this one?
Yeah, wasn't that?
I don't remember.
I swear to God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wearing a hat.
Oh, yeah, when you were talking about your grandma's southern cooking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a hat. So I'd say another successful podcast to y'all out there and to us ourselves. I'm quite proud of it.
We hope you all have a good night. Find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fear death, but find reasons to live.
Be here now. Love.
Love everything.
Be here now.
Yeah.
I got the most basic cliche shit to say, but it works because just think about it.
Mm-hmm. These are our roots, man.
And I'm tired. I have nothing else to say, so.
Alex, if you want, keep this part in. I always like when they leave in parts of like just bullshit random talking like this. I mean, it is a podcast. That's what we're based on. So
yeah, it's a good way to go out. So yeah, everybody, be here now.
Salute.
Yeah. Badass, bro. Fucking